Hello everyone, my name is Julia Manicucci and today we are going to talk about the 5 languages of love. Welcome back to my channel, and I was wondering, have you ever felt like your way of expressing love or your way of loving someone wasn't really resonating with your partner? Well, that's really common and makes all of us really confused. Well, today we are diving in the 5 languages of love of Gary Chapman. That is a bestseller book that is there and many people read it, and I read it myself and I felt it so useful that I definitely wanted to share it with you. In the book, Gary shares many stories of patients of his, and one that I remember a lot is this couple that there was this guy and this girl, and the guy believed that he was doing everything for her. He was taking the trash out, he was fixing things around the house, he was getting out and work, he was doing everything that he considered necessary to express love. However, she wasn't feeling love. She wasn't feeling that he was showing love the way that she wanted to. For her, taking the trash out, working, or fixing things around the house weren't necessarily acts of love, but she expected something else. She was expecting him to tell her how much he loved her, to tell her how beautiful she was. She was expecting a lot of nice words and beautiful ones. She was expecting love through verbal language. But for him, this was unnecessary. He thought that words meant nothing if he wouldn't be doing these things like taking care of the house. But this is more or less like me going to China, speaking Portuguese, and expecting everyone to speak my language. And more than that, it would be me going to China expecting everyone to speak my language and getting frustrated because nobody does. Well, as Gary explains, relationships are like languages. And it's not like we cannot speak another language, but we have different primary languages. And that's why there are 5 languages of love. I can understand and I can learn Chinese as soon as I understand that people are not born speaking Portuguese. So in order for me to communicate in China, I have to learn their language. And they can learn also my language. So let's go a little bit deeper on that. Have you ever felt these challenges in your relationship? Have you ever felt like you were doing everything to express your love, but your significant other was not understanding the amount of love you were trying to show? So, let's explore these 5 languages together. They are, first of all, words of affirmation, services, quality time, physical touch, and gifts. Understanding their existence and understanding how they work can make a revolution in any relationship. In my own relationship, me and my partner learned that our primary languages are actually different, but we somehow unconsciously we learn how to love each other in the way they're expecting. With a lot of communication, we were showing and telling each other what was important for us. Vlad's primary love language is words of affirmation, while mine is quality time. Like, I find joy in cooking together, in walking around the city, maybe having a picnic. I find a lot of joy and love in sitting in the couch and just talking about our childhood, our problems, our happy moments, and spending this time just looking into each other's eyes and spending some time together and learning about each other. While Vlad finds a lot of joy and feels loved when I acknowledge his efforts, when I see things that he's doing, and I let him know through words what I have recognized. I deeply love when Vlad tells me that I'm beautiful, or when he brings me flowers. I love when he makes me a coffee, but nothing compares to spending this good time together. And I think that everyone has their own primary love. Even if it's not my primary language to talk and express through words what I feel about him or what he is, how intelligent he is, I learned how to speak his language. It's just like French is not such a useful language for me, but I would learn how to speak French for him. I feel rewarded and happy and full of joy when I see that he's feeling loved. So that's how I would feel if I would learn how to speak his language to talk to him. So let's understand what these love languages are, and let's try to give some examples to make it easier to understand and to make it easier to enter in our minds. So let's start with words of affirmation. Words of affirmation could be like telling your partner, I love you, you are handsome or beautiful, you are intelligent, I love how you draw. Could be also leaving sticky notes around the house, or leave them maybe a little note in the morning saying I love you, have a good day. It also could be like sending messages or voicemails or just audios on WhatsApp, reminding them how nice they are or things that you like about them, or telling them that you love them and you just thought about it and you wanted to express this feeling. There are so many options. Even writing letters and, is expressing love through words. The second one, quality time. So, as I said before, could be going to a park and having a picnic together, or even just an ice cream, but sitting on the bench or sitting on the grass and talking for hours. Could be having like a day on the week where you both disconnect from social media and phones and everything, just to have a intimate night, just both of you. Could be like taking a weekend and traveling together, creating memories, valuable memories for you to remember for the rest of your lives. Could be having just deep and regular conversations and connecting emotionally and talking about your feelings, talking about how your life is, how your childhood was. Could be also engaging in shared hobbies like cooking together, playing tennis, running, going to the gym. All of these are quality time, and people that have this first love language are really gonna enjoy these kind of things. And let's move to the third love language that we are gonna talk about, and it is receiving gifts. Receiving gifts, people can think that are for people that are superficial or things like this, but they are very wrong. Because people that have as primary love language receiving gifts, they don't need the gifts to be expensive or valuable in the sense of money, but they like things to be like a little memory. So for example, if you travel somewhere and you bring your significant other a little bracelet with their names or with something, it doesn't need to be expensive. The person needs to feel that they were remembered, and you spent that little time thinking of them and bringing them like a souvenir that they're going to be able to put in their houses and look at that every day and remember, oh, that's what my husband or my girlfriend brought me when they were in Rome, for example. Other examples of receiving gifts could be surprising your partner with a flower, or planning a surprise celebration for a special date somewhere, or thoughtfully chosen little gifts that mean something for them. So maybe if they love turtles, you could buy a nice turtle earring that they are going to understand that you thought about their taste, you thought about what they like, and you cared about it, and you took something like this for them. The most important thing is that you thought about every single detail of that gift. It doesn't need to be expensive. It needs to be thought and cared, So let's go to the next love language, acts of service. Acts of service could be taking care of the household responsibilities like washing dishes, doing the laundry, making your bed without being asked, cooking a special meal for your partner and cleaning the kitchen afterwards, offering to do responsibilities, offering to do things when that your partner doesn't necessarily like, or if they feel overwhelmed doing things like paying bills, going to take a queue in a bank and things like this. Taking care of your partner when they are sick or in need of support. Planning and organizing stuff to take the heavy things off your partner's shoulder. So basically, it's making their lives easier and showing them that you care about their well-being, about their mental health, helping them in the house without making it a task. I don't know how to explain, but basically taking the trash out, cooking, and etc., and making them feel that you take care of them. And the least but not less important, physical touch. And physical touch is not regarding to sexual relationships, but much more to physical touch of love. For example, holding hands while walking together, offering a warm and loving hug, cuddling in the couch while watching a movie or reading a book together, giving gentle kisses or just hugging during the day like this without any reason. Engaging, in intimate touch and hugging, loving, making massage maybe. Just feeling each other's touch. That's like who has this love language as their first one enjoy the most. So now that we understood each of these love languages, let's address an important distinction. In Gary Chapman's book, we learn that the important part of understanding our love language and our partner's love language is to learn how to speak their languages, even if it's not our primary one. And even if it's not our natural inclination, doing that step to make your partner feel loved can make a lot of difference in our relationships. And here I want to highlight that we are not talking only about love languages of your partner, even if this is the main focus here. Learning the way that your mother, your sister, your father, your brother, your best friends feel loved will also improve your relationship with them. This is about human, this is about people. So knowing how to make your family feel loved will make them wanna express their love to you too. And in this sense, all the relationships can be improved. However, I think like for partner and significant other relationship, it's very important for us to find someone that's compatible with us. Let's say, imagine if you'd hate German language and you would date someone that has German as their primary language, it would not be impossible, but it would be very hard for you to try to speak their language, to hear them speaking their language. So basically, it's very important for you to find someone that is compatible to you. In a more touchable example, if you don't like hugs, if you don't like being touched, if you don't like physical contact, it will be very hard for you and for your partner if their first love language is physical touch. So even if we need to learn how to speak our partner's language, a relationship cannot be a challenge all the time. And expressing love and receiving love from our partner cannot be so hard for you. So in my opinion, it's very important that you like, or at least you appreciate the love language of your partner as well. Wouldn't be easier if you'd date someone that speaks Italian, if you'd love the Italian language, instead of dating someone that speaks German if you don't like it? But as here we are in a democracy, I also want to know your opinion. What do you think? It's more important to learn how to accommodate your partner's love language, Or you think it's more important to find someone that has a love language that's similar or at least compatible with yours? Have you ever tried to date someone that expressed love in a way that you totally don't understand? Here is what I suggest. First, identify your own love language. Understand what makes you feel loved, truly loved. Then, look for a partner that aligns somehow with your expectations. Of course that there will be differences and you don't need to have the same love language, but if it's a love language that you can accommodate in your life, it's gonna be much easier. Like for me, even if words of affirmation is not my primary love language, I really enjoy offering this to my partner. I really enjoy telling him how smart, how he inspires me, how handsome he is. So I feel compatible with that, even though it's not my first thing. However, if it's something that you truly dislike, I don't think it's correct for you or for them to make such a big effort to accommodate their expectations, because relationships have to be happy and fulfilling for both of you. So if you are totally incompatible in your way of showing and receiving love, it would be really, really hard for you guys to arrive in a common place, in the same page. To wrap it up, the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, physical touch, and services, offering services. Find a partner with the disposition that you have, with the will to make efforts and the will of accommodating your love language as much as you have, so you guys can have like a thriving relationship for years and who knows, maybe a whole life. Beautiful people, I really hope that this little insight into the 5 love languages was interesting for you as much as it was for me. I really recommend you to read the whole book because it can change lives. Thank you so much for staying here with me, for sharing with me your time. You know how much quality time is important for me now. And until next time, I hope your love language speaks volumes in your relationship. Vă pup, vă iubesc, pa pa!